I'd like to talk a little bit about the neck cork. Now this is a Summer Mark 6 neck, and as you can see over time, the neck cork has been lengthened quite a bit. It should stop right about here, but you have another ½ inch that is done on this. So what happens is, whenever you get ready to put on a neck cork, you try not to lengthen it at all. So in the case of this though, once it's done, you can see all the marks and things. So I put the cork just to here. It's going to be a big ugly piece coming out of that neck. So it'll all be ugly. So what we have to do once a cork is cut and made that big, we must go that same length with a new neck cork. Now I use contact cement when I'm putting on a neck cork. So what you want to do to prepare the neck cork is, I usually cut a neck cork, the sheet comes 4x5, I cut down the middle. Then you cut a taper angle on one end, so that it's tapered underneath. Then you apply the contact cement. Okay, normally when I put the contact cement on, I use a pipe cleaner because it's easier, but I'm out, so today I'm going to use a Q-tip. You just simply go over your tapered area first. You don't want it to be too thick at all, but you have to make sure that it covers everything. So, you have to get the contact on. Just want to make sure you cover all the area, and you want to make sure you go far enough. It doesn't matter if you go past where the wrap's going to be, but you have to make sure you have it enough on there for where the wrap's going to be. So I go a little extra, put it on, then that's that part for the moment. Simply lay it on something to let it get tacky and dry. The next step, of course, is to put the contact on the neck. I'm doing a tenor neck, so I simply take the contact and place it around the neck. Now, on these horns, you want to make sure you get it in this little seam right here and on the top, because little seam right here. Is that English? And this little seam right here. Is that from my southern accent? Anyway, so you want to cover everything. If it doesn't get covered, the glue won't stick. And it's very important to cover the end because that has to be cut a little thinner than the rest of the cork. And as I said before, this neck is a little long, so there's a little extra room you have to do here. And so you just have to get it all over it. Making sure it's not too thick or too gunk. Any gunky spot will take a long time to dry. You want it to be fairly even. It's generally easier with a pipe cleaner, so you can get a little. Q-tip is a little limited. Okay, get it all around the neck. Very good. Then put it over in the hole on your bench and let it get ready to put together. It'll take quite a while for that tenor cork to be ready to sand. So I have an alto cork that I've already put on. It's already been wrapped and everything. So I'll show you how to sand it. It's very simple to sand. You simply lay it down. I get these sanders at the 99-cent store. You get 3 of them for $1, and you just by hand sand it. Now, contrary to many things that I've heard, the end of the saxophone neck is not a cylinder. It is a taper. So the back end of the cork must be thinner than the front end of the cork in order to make the cork an actual cylinder. So you must take a little more off the back end. And the seam, of course, is always under the bottom of the neck so that it's not seen when the mouthpiece is on. You don't see the seam. And then you just start sanding, turn the neck a little each time, and hand sand it until you get it where it's the right length for the mouthpiece you're going to fit to this neck. Oops, I'm kind of low. If you can see it or not. Okay, let's try it again. Okay, the tenor neck I did is going to take quite a while to get ready. So I'm going to show you how to sand the neck cork on an alto neck that I've already gotten done. The cork is already on it, and I'm going to just sand it a little bit. I get these little sanding discs at the 99-cent store. They're 3 for $1. And simply by hand, you just go around the neck and sand it. And contrary to popular belief, this is not a cylinder at the end of the necks. The necks are always tapered a bit. So you must take the back end of the cork down more than the front end of the cork to actually produce a cylinder so the mouthpiece will go on, because the mouthpiece is a cylinder. And you just do this for hours and hours and hours until you get it to the right size to fit the mouthpiece. Nothing complicated, just hard work. Okay, now I'm ready to put the neck cork on this tenor neck. And one of the things that you need to do is I use contact cement. So you need to have a place to put it while the contact cement is drying. So at the end of my workbench, I drilled 2 holes. One is 1 1/8 inch for the tenor necks, and one is 1 inch where the alto necks fit. So that's where they can sit while you're waiting for the glue to dry, and there's no chance of knocking it off the bench or any of that kind of stuff because it's actually in a hole and set up. Okay, now I've sanded the neck cork so that it's a complete cylinder and very smooth. And now's the time to put the mouthpiece on and make sure it works. So you want to make sure you cork grease the cork a lot. So there's a lot of cork grease on the cork the first couple of times. And then the mouthpiece I use to test putting it on is one that I manufactured. It has a metal ring around it so that it's less likely to crack. So then you simply put it on, get it on as far as you can get it on. And that's a very nice fit, a very nice distance. The player has it; he can put it there, he can put it out here. He's got a lot of room, and the cork is very snug. So at this point, I look at the back of the cork here, and if it's thicker on the back here, because where you put the mouthpiece on, then I just simply sand that piece down a little more until it gets to be completely a cylinder, so you don't have that big bump at the back end. Now you're finished, and the cork is ready to be used.